YouTube, welcome to the HK Cowboys channel. My name is Kay the Magnificent, and today I'm going to do a quickie review of the Rise of Iron story. So, Rise of Iron launch was hilarious, to say the least. You may have seen my little disgruntled offering over the server queue Destiny bestowed on us during the epic failure. If not, you can click here. But I want to delve into the story, or the PVE side, with you guys a little and give you my thoughts on the DLC in general. Obviously the raid drops tonight, so that won't be covered in this review, and as someone who rarely PvPs, I won't be giving you the lowdown on that new mode either. This is strict PvE, baby. So instead of doing a long-winded rundown, I'm going to break this up into the good and the bad. Let's start off positive, shall we? Story missions. There were a lot more story missions than I was expecting. I fully assumed Bungie would have 3 story missions, one of them new and interesting, and the other 2 just filler rehashes of other missions or strikes backwards. I was very surprised to have quite a few stories to play through, and for different dynamics to be introduced. There were filler levels, but for the most part it was actually entertaining, especially the end mission. I think that end was more entertaining than facing Oryx. The Plague Lands. The Plague Lands are actually kind of amazing. I thought having more stuff set on Earth would get samey or not feel that fresh, but I was really wrong. The sheen of snow over everything, the creepy red biological touches of Siva, it's very eye-catching and removed from other parts of the game. A welcome change indeed. Felwinter's Peak. The opening mission and the new social space are breathtaking. It's like falling into Skyrim. I was taken aback by the level of detail and freedom within the social space. The bells, the temple, amazing. Patrols and quests. Patrols are worth doing again. The weekly bounties and quests make patrols in the Plague Lands worth doing and actually quite fun. I genuinely miss doing patrols. There was a time where their focus was way too heavy and they were just grind time, but a little of that is not too bad. The quests this time around are also slightly less pointlessly grindy and time consuming. It's a similar feel and vein as with Taken King, but not quite as heavy, which personally is a big thumbs up in my head. God damn, did I not care about collecting 50 fucking calcified fragments for a gun I can only really get good use out of in the raid. No, thank you. The new strike. The new strike was interesting. We got super lost in parts, and the end fight was very cool. Running around from an ogre you can't harm to try and kill a dude who is also kicking her ass was a very interesting dynamic, which highly entertained and frustrated us on our first run through. New old strikes. The old strikes returneth. I'm a big fan of the original strikes. I was horrified that all the old ones were being brought back so slowly, and I'm quite an impatient person, but now I got what I wanted, but slightly differently. The changes to the big fights were nice additions and making it feel more like a different strike than the ones we've experienced hundreds of times. I especially liked the extra touches on the strikes, with the hive ship taking you over to Fogarth and the Sepix one with the giant hole in the wall leading you in a different way in. It's a little thing, but they clearly put quite a lot of effort into that, and I really appreciate that. Galley's back! Alright! All of the missions attached to the galley quest were really fun and challenging. The end mission when you finally have galley in your hands was just ridiculous. I like that Bungie is celebrating how ridiculously overpowered galley is instead of cutting its balls off for the sake of balance. Now, I probably sound like a super fangirl at this point, but don't worry, here comes the bad. Story missions. I may have been surprised by the amount of story missions, but the length of them was so typical. There were so many missions where we were all left going, oh, that was it. I'm not surprised by that resignation to Bungie's lack of content, but it shouldn't be the norm. They need to know that if you're charging for an expansion, that expansion needs legs and depth. It's still better than the old ways of Destiny, but they're a long, long way away from where it should be. On top of this, the actual plot of the story itself was really badly delivered. Lord Saladin's heavy-handed lack of detail and ominous comments was like an unwelcome return of Eris Morn.
No one truly knows how the Iron Lords died their final deaths. That was something you had to be there for.
Plus his bickering with Shivo, who apparently has zero personality whatsoever, was just unnecessary. I appreciate character development and colour in our stories, but not without purpose. Shivo and Lyra seemed like filler characters, and there's no point to them. At least with the House of Wolves expansion, the new characters were fresh and interesting and added something to the table. You can't go from the awesome performances of characters like Varix or Cade in House of Wolves and Taken King respectively, and then give us something wooden and bland afterwards. Along with the actual character delivery, the story itself seemed to be bad to seize machine thing. Fallen have it. They can't use it. We tried to have it. We couldn't use it. Kill the thing, yay for all. It was far too simple and just dull. The steampunk Fallen aren't an interesting new enemy, and it all just falls on its ass a little. Fellwinter's Peak. This isn't really a complaint, more of an observation. But you know, with the temple and the snow everywhere, big walls and wolves hanging out and being called young wolf and being in the north and becoming an Iron Lord and there's Iron Banner and Iron Temple. Did Bungie just massively try to appeal to Game of Thrones fans? Or is that just me? I mean, Fellwinter, Winterfell. Come on! Patrols. Why can't the patrol area be the Plague Lands and the main Earth patrol? I'm assuming logically it's a physical space issue with the service, but seriously, why can we get to the Divide and the rocket yards all covered in snow and stuff, but we can't go anywhere else? Are there two Earths currently? Like, in the logic of the universe at the moment? What gives with that? The only other issue I have with patrols is the sparsity of the actual activities. There should be more patrol missions dotted about. The new strike. I'm going to repeat myself here, but it's too short. It's interesting. It's different, but it's too short. New gold strikes. I like that they tried to do something different with this, and for the most part I think it was a good idea. However, due to them cutting down the waves of enemy sections, the strikes feel short, and in the old days those parts could get quite tense with the waves of enemies. Apparently not so much anymore. In conclusion, okay, so the amount of content we got for the price, not including the raid, is actually technically more than I expected. We got a bunch of new story missions, a new strike, and redo of old ones, a new patrol area, a new social space, new quests. Just generally some good stuff for the price. However, the quality and content in those aspects was very thin on the ground. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's going in the right direction, but Bungie is, as always, taking one step forward and 2 steps back. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like our little review. Let us know what you think of the DLC in the comments. Like and subscribe if you're into that sort of thing, and I'll catch you on the flip. Okay, out.